In this video, I'm gonna tell you exactly how to take one listing a week in a world with no for sale by owners or expired listings. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna give you an exact step-by-step blueprint of how to make this happen. It would be a sad world with no FSBOs and expireds, but hey, if that's the real estate market that you're in, you can still be a very successful listing agent. So in this video, a few things are gonna happen here. I made, by the way, 7 pages of notes because I've given this a lot of thought. I love FSBOs and expireds, and most of what I talk about on my channel is related to that because they want to sell. That's the only reason why I love them. But it is important that if you don't have one or the other or neither, you have an exact step-by-step blueprint to still succeed at a high level as a listing agent. Before we start, make sure that I trust you have a notepad and you can make some notes because I have a lot of important stuff that I'm going to tell you. And if you're writing it down, you're going to absorb the information way better, which makes it more likely that you will apply and get results. So write down on your notes too. At the end of this video, click on the description of the video and make sure you download my free script book. It has all of my scripts, including the one that I'm going to share with you on this video today. So here's my goal. Number one, I'm going to tell you why following this plan is going to make you a lot of money as a listing agent and make you very successful. Number two, I'm going to tell you how to do it step by step, exactly how to make this happen. Number three, I'm going to teach you what to say. We're going to go over the exact script. And number four, I'm going to teach you how to follow up on the leads that you get. So the overall goal of this video is we're going to talk about you working a geographic area. I don't like to use the word farming. Some agents, I'm sure maybe you've heard the word farming. I don't know that it's even used that much anymore in real estate these days. But the traditional farming in real estate refers to mailing a lot of stuff. You know, in the old days when there was not even email, it was mostly just sending mailers out. So this is very different. There will be some of that, but you're not even going to mail it. So you'll see. But it is working a geographic area. And the goal is that you're going to choose this area, and I'm going to tell you how to select it, and you're going to dominate this geographic area. And ultimately, the goal of everything that I'm going to share with you is for you to be recognized in this area as a professional, trusted real estate expert. That is the goal. And if you do exactly what I say, and I've given this a lot of thought, I feel like in this video, I'm going to leave no stones unturned, as they say it. I'm going to cover every step of the way so you understand what you're doing and why you're doing it so you can execute it successfully. So why would you follow this blueprint in your business? Because number one, you're going to find immediate business. You're going to find people who want to sell their house right now, and you're going to find some buyers too. I always say, and this is not going to be different for this video, you should refer those buyers out to a buyer specialist so you could stay focused on being a listing agent, okay? But you're going to find buyers as well, and you're going to find immediate business. You are also going to find future business. You're going to find people that want to sell a year from now, 6 months from now, and you're going to need a an effective lead follow-up system, which I'm going to share with you as well. And you're going to get referrals. You're going to contact some people that don't want to sell right now, don't want to sell in the future, but they know somebody that they can refer to you. And finally, you're also going to add people to your database. The goal is that this entire geographic area would be people that trust you as a professional expert, and they'll be part of your database for future business and future referrals. So I want to start by telling you a little story of my career. My first 2 years in real estate, I worked part-time, nights and weekends, 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., weekends, Saturday and Sundays all day. And what I did during this time working, I made phone calls. I didn't door knock. I didn't mail anything. I didn't have money to mail anything. My time was very limited because I only had nights and weekends, and I chose to stay on the phone to find people who wanted to sell. And those first 2 years, probably between 90 and 95% of the people that I spoke with were in a geographic area, which is exactly what I'm going to share with you how to do it on this video today. I didn't really select the geographic area based on any criteria. I just started calling around the neighborhood that I lived in. Massive amounts of phone calls around the neighborhood. I was speaking to about 400 people a week. Now I want you to think about that. When I say I worked weekends, it was Saturday and Sunday from like 8:30, 9 a.m. till sometimes 7 p.m. on the phone, dialing nonstop, looking for someone who wanted to sell, calling around. I did call FSBOs and expireds too, but the results were not that great because I had no idea what I was doing. So I know for a fact, based on my personal experience, that this, if you just call a geographic area, you're going to have amazing success. But I'm going to give you way more than what I did when I started, because I didn't know better. I just picked up the phone and I started dialing. And I also want to share with you that not only did this work for me, because my first year I sold 25 homes, second year also 25 homes, third year I started working full time, so things got better. I sold 45. And my fourth year, 100 homes. And by that time, I was only calling expireds and FSBOs, but I built it the first 2 years, just calling around a neighborhood. Massive amounts of calls around the neighborhood. So you can do it too. And again, that's not all you're going to do. I'm going to give you way more powerful information on what you can do. So your results should be a lot better than what I did my first year. And by the way, I've been in real estate for 28 years. I've coached tens of thousands of agents, and I've learned a lot from different ways that people do business. So I compiled the best ideas for you on this video on, again, how to take this one listing a week with no FSBOs and expireds. On the why, which is the first point, I also want to say this to you, why you want to follow this blueprint. Because it's definitely going to be easier conversations and contacts than expireds and for sale by owners. There's no pressure. When you call a brand new expired listing and they're like, they're kind of angry, agitated. Yeah. It's really not that easy to handle that. You got to learn how to speak with them. You need to learn how to handle objections. This is going to be a lot easier. There's no pressure. You're going to get fewer objections. You may still have some, especially initially, until you build yourself as being known as the trusted professional in the area. You're going to get some objections, but not nearly as many as you would with FSBOs and expireds. you're going to build your confidence. You're going to build your communication skills. I mean, doing this stuff, working a geographic area in the way that I'm going to share with you is going to help you tremendously. Communication skills in general, which is required in your real estate business. Remember, you are in the business of communicating, and the more you improve your communication skills, the more business you will do. You're going to improve your listening skills. You're going to learn how to repeat massive approval. A lot of the things that I teach that really make a difference in being able to list expireds, FSBOs, make a great presentation. This is going to be a foundation for you. You're going to get business again fairly quickly. To get business consistently, it's going to take a little while. I'm going to talk to you about that next. But you will find business immediately as well. So here we go. How are you going to do this? I want you to write this down so you have the proper expectations. It will take 6 to 18 months for you to start seeing consistent results. And I know 6 to 18 months is a wide range. I know you want it sooner rather than later. So what will make it so that you get results sooner rather than later? I wrote this down. The amount of effort that you put into direct prospecting, which means calling and door knocking. Because I'm going to talk to you about flyers and some emails and other things that you can do. More than that even. This is going to be very detailed. But the speed of the results will depend on the effort you put into calling and talking to people face to face. More than anything else. And then I wrote this down. The goal is that within 24 months, you will have 25% market share in this geographic area. So you can already see that this is it's a long-term project. You will get immediate business, and you could get it even faster by more calls and more door knocking, but overall, this is a 24-month goal to have 25% market share. Now, your results depend on a combination of, number one, write this down, prospecting or cold calling or lead generation, whatever you want to call it, prospecting, marketing, and networking. It's a combination of those three, and I'm going to go into it in detail. Over the phone, prospecting, door knocking, monthly emails, monthly hand-delivered activity reports or market updates. I'll give you more details soon. And quarterly neighborhood events. It's a combination of all of these things. Now, again, I only called. I didn't do anything else. However, I have been around some brilliant real estate agents that do business in different ways. So obviously, I learned a lot. There's more ways to do things. I just happen to love FSBOs and expireds because I'm in a hurry. I want business now, and I want it consistently, and I want it immediately. But there's the other side of that, which does require a huge amount of skills, and that doesn't happen overnight either. So that is like, this is going to take 24 months to get 25% market share. FSBOs and expireds, when I first started, it wasn't that great. Okay, my results were actually pretty bad because I didn't know anything. So no matter what you choose to do, There is no free lunch. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. There's no magic pill that's just gonna give you instant results for very little work. It doesn't work that way. There are no shortcuts to any place worth going. I wanted to think of this quote because I love these motivational quotes, but that is the truth, okay? So either way, it's a long-term project. Then I wrote this down. If you are not going to call or door knock. If you are hearing me right now and you say, oh, the marketing, yeah, tell me more about that. The neighborhood events, networking, I want to do all that, but I do not want to call or door knock. Personally, I would say to you, don't do it. That's my personal opinion. You shouldn't even do this. Why? Because you're going to spend a lot of time and money, and you're not going to get a return on investment that makes sense. You need to incorporate all of this for it to make sense. So, how do you select this geographic area? So, write this down. Profile the area to make sure that there's enough turnover, the turnover rate, to support the goals that you have. So I personally wrote this down. Pick an area of 3,000 homes. Now, 3,000 homes is a pretty big geographic area. But remember, we're talking about a world with no FSBOs and expired. So literally, your entire focus, time, energy, and focus is going to be in this geographic area. So 3,000 homes is an appropriate number of homes if that's all you are doing. Okay? So what you want to find in terms of turnover rate in this geographic area is turnover somewhere between 5 and 10%, minimum 5%. If you can have a little bit higher, even better. Choose a price range that makes sense. Yes, that you also, an area with a demographic that you can relate to, so it's gonna, everything you do is gonna be more effective. And the turnover rate, so if we are looking at 3,000 homes, 10% turnover rate would be 300 sales a year. Think about that. It's pretty exciting. And 25% of that is 75 homes. That's the 25% market share that you have as a goal within 24 months. That's a lot of transactions. And obviously you're going to select a price range that makes sense, and your average commission is going to be a very nice number, and you're going to establish yourself as the listing agent of choice in this area. Now, if you are, even if you're not, I said in a world with no for sale by owners and expired listings, but obviously, once you select this area, there will be some expireds and FSBOs there, and those you are going to contact. You may not go outside of it for FSBOs and expireds, but the ones that are in this geographic area, you are definitely going to contact them immediately. I'll talk more about this a little bit later. The second thing in the how to do it, now that you selected the geographic area based on the turnover rate and the average price, you also want to be aware if there is any agent that seems to have a lot of listings and sales in this area. Now, I don't think that finding an agent that dominates the area means like, oh, I shouldn't pick that one, I should go get another one. I don't think so. It's very rare that any agent has more than 25% of the business, the listings and and sales in any particular area. That's very, very rare. So if there is an agent that seems to dominate that particular geographic area, as long as it's under 25%, which is what is most likely that you will find, you're perfectly good. There's still 75% left after they get their 25, and you're looking for 25 within 2 years. So perfect. There's business for everybody out there. Number 3, under the how to, I briefly mentioned this earlier. I want you to write this question down. Can you relate with the demographic in this area that you are selecting? I believe that the homeowners in general will be more comfortable with you and vice versa if you're within the same demographic. You basically speak their language. You walk the walk. I mentioned when I started my first 2 years in real estate, I was calling around my neighborhood. I felt comfortable there. I knew the streets. I knew the homes. Now, if I was starting over today, I would pick an area with a higher price, average price. The average price in the neighborhood that I lived, that I was calling, was like 115,000, maybe 110. And so there were a lot more expensive geographic areas than that, but I chose what I was comfortable with. I'm requesting that you pick a healthy average price, but also make sure you have something that causes you to relate well with the homeowners in that area. And that way also, that's gonna benefit you. I wrote this down. It's gonna be easier for you to develop mutual trust and respect with these sellers. Then I also wrote this down. You'll be able to get listings within maybe even the first week. It's possible. Or the first couple of weeks. Definitely you will be able to do that by calling and door knocking. But this is definitely going to be a long-term project, and you need to commit from the very beginning. Know what you're getting into, because to have this 25% market share, it's not gonna happen within the first month. I already mentioned this, but I'm reiterating. We all live in this world these days. I like results right away, but now with technology, we're used to getting everything immediately. So this is gonna require you to work consistently. Now, I recommend Espresso Agent and Vulcan 7 for getting phone numbers. And one of the advantages of Espresso Agent Vulcan 7, you have access to neighborhoods. You'll be able to select this geographic area and get phone numbers for the homeowners in that particular area. And then you'll be able to use certain filters they have that would actually tell you who are the homeowners in this area that are likely to list. They use a lot of different algorithms to determine who's likely to list. So obviously, calling those that are likely to list will be a priority. They also have a filter for non-occupied properties. These could be investment properties, these could be vacation homes, whatever they are. So those should go right below your likely to list. Obviously, in this geographic area, you're going to end up speaking with every one of the homeowners, whether it's over the phone or in person, on a regular basis, because you're building a long-term business here. Now let's go to number 3. We're still under the how-to, okay? I've mentioned to you a few times that the goal is to be a professional, trusted real estate expert. And being the neighborhood specialist in this geographic area means that I wrote several things down. So write this down. You know the streets like the palm of your hand. Okay, you know the entire area. You know the models of homes that are in that area. Even if it's from the outside, you're going to preview properties too, because you want to see the active listings. Obviously, you want to go in and see these homes, but you're going to have to be an expert in the neighborhood. You know all the models, you know all of the streets, you know all of the schools that are part of the area. You know all the shops and businesses around the area, places of worship as well. Remember, neighborhood specialist, you know all of this. And you're going to be previewing every listing that comes up in that area, because you want to know the inventory better than anybody else. You're going to be using this information for the what to say, the scripts you use. But definitely, a property comes on the market, you're going to go preview. And you're going to know the market statistics. I'm going to tell you which ones in just a minute. Market stats. What is happening in this area today in terms of active listings, pending sales, closed sales on a monthly basis, expired listings, and how does that compare to a year ago, same month a year ago? This is also going to help you understand the market trends, what's going on currently compared to what was happening a year ago. So you're going to create and hand deliver by door knocking a monthly neighborhood activity report, or you could also call it a market update, okay? Neighborhood update. And you can get this information from your multiple listing system. So write this down. Current quarter that you're in, current quarter, previous quarter, and then the current quarter a year ago, so 12 months earlier, that quarter. And number one, stat, and this is going to be part of your activity report. What is the average list price of properties? This quarter, previous quarter, and same current quarter a year ago. So average list price of the homes that are currently for sale. Average sales price, list to sales price ratio, meaning if a property is listed for $300,000, what's the, again, average list price to sale price? What ratio, what percentage of the list price are homes selling for on average? The average days on market. Monthly sales, how many properties are selling per month? Current inventory, how many active listings currently? How many months supply of inventory are on the market today? So here's what I mean by that. If there are currently 40 homes for sale and 10 are selling per month, that is a 4-month supply of homes on the market. So that's what I mean by monthly supply of inventory. And then the number of expired listings. Again, you're doing the quarter, previous quarter, and a year ago. You can create a very simple, easy to read neighborhood market report, activity report that you're gonna share with these homeowners on a monthly basis when you go door knocking, okay? Oh wait, I got more here. Now, also in the how-to, you're going to create a monthly newsletter that's going to be sent to all of the homeowners via email. You're going to need to get all this information. Again, Espresso Agent Vulcan 7, they give you phone numbers, they give you email addresses. You're also, for the people that are on the do not call list, you're going to go door knocking. You're going to ask for their phone number, email address. You're going to build the list of the ones that are not available, and you're going to get permission to give him a call on a regular basis to give him market updates. So this is going to be a monthly email newsletter. And basically, obviously, it's going to cost you to put this newsletter together, but there's no mailing cost, because the market update, you're going to hand deliver it to them, which also gives you a lot of things to talk about. Because even if someone is not thinking of selling their home, people are always interested in knowing what properties are selling for in the area, how much people are asking. So as you put together this report, you're also going to gather a lot of information that an expert would know, and you're going to be able to have some very powerful and effective conversations with the homeowners when you door knock. So this email newsletter, look, there are many companies out there that do this. Make it so that there's local and national information that would be of interest to the demographic of the geographic area that you selected. I personally, I get a lot of these types of emails from different real estate agents from over the years that I've coached, that I whatever, they got my email address, and I get a lot of this. And to be honest, most of them, when I see the name, I move to junk, I delete, I unsubscribe. I'm not interested, because I opened it once or twice, and the information that's being sent to me is of no interest to me. And that's what you want to be very careful with. You want to make sure that these new newsletters have information on local events, new places of business, information on interest rates, maybe some information on local events. You want stuff that people are gonna be interested in looking at. New listings, it could be new listings or sales in the area. But the bottom line is that if they're not interested in the information you're sending out, you need to revisit and find better newsletters. I actually have, to be honest, a handful, like one or two, that the minute I see those names pop up on my email, and they're local email newsletters, I open it and I read it, because they're interesting. They're stuff that I always want to know about what's happening in my market. And so you want to be very careful with that. Remember that I said in the beginning, if you're not going to call and door knock, you shouldn't even start any of this, because the email newsletter is a complement to the door knocking and the calling that you're doing. On its own, I don't believe that you're going to be able to get much business at all. Could you get a listing a year or maybe two? Yeah, but that's not what we're looking to do here. We're looking to build a solid business, and that's going to require your communication with people on a regular basis. Number 5, I wrote down networking, and this means now that for you to dominate this geographic area, you're gonna have to be out there. You're gonna have to go face to face and talk to people. Now, I never personally did open houses, but to dominate a geographic area means that you should be doing one open house a month. And start doing open houses when you take your first listing. I wouldn't recommend that you start doing open houses for somebody else. Get on the phone, go face to face. You'll be able to find your first listing very quickly, and then you want to make sure that you do an open house. And part of how you're going to market this open house is door knocking or calling the neighbors, the entire neighborhood, to invite them to your open house. Incredibly powerful. This way, for this specific purpose, remember, you want to build a reputation as the local expert in the neighborhood, and obviously this is going to be incredibly powerful. And calling around or door knocking to invite your neighbors and ask if they know anybody that wants to move into the area, come see the open house, that's going to be amazing for networking for you. You're going to door knock on weekends. Why on weekends? Because more people are home. Even though a lot of people work from home these days, most people tend to be working Monday through Friday. So if you door knock in the middle of the week, they may not be available or even open the door. However, on weekends, people tend to go outside. They may be, I don't know, mowing the lawn or doing something around the house, and you'll be able to actually see those neighbors out there, engage in conversations. Remember, networking. You know the area, you're going to be talking to everyone. Maybe people, children are playing outside, and you'll get to know the people in your area. Or who knows, maybe even if they're able to do garage sales or people are outside, great time for you to build personal relationships with everyone that lives in this geographic area. Then I wrote down part of networking. You're going to host a quarterly community event. It's going to cost a little bit of money, and in the beginning, look, if you don't have money to invest in something like this, wait until you have your first listing and sale or your first few listings and sales. Then you start investing. And just when I refer to a quarterly community event, it doesn't have to be anything expensive. I wrote some ideas down. Maybe you can sponsor a neighborhood garage sale, a recycling program, a food drive. You can do certain things that won't be very costly, and they could be very effective for you. Now, maybe I should have mentioned this to you earlier, but I'll say it now, and it's very important, so make sure you write this down. You want to start every single day when you start prospecting with 500 phone numbers in front of you. Every single day, 500 numbers. It's critically important because in an area of 3,000 homes, I mean, you could probably just have all of them in front of you, but you want to keep track of who you spoke with. The goal is to speak with them on a monthly basis. You're also going to be door knocking. I'm going to tell you what to say because you're like, okay, I'm calling them every month. What exactly I'm going to say? You're going to know exactly what to say, but you got to have hundreds of phone numbers in front of you all the time so you never run out of people to speak with, okay? Now, let's go to what to say. And now I'm going to share with you in detail the Sales X training, which is my training company, coaching and training, circle prospecting script. You'll find it in the free script book that you're going to download at the end of this video, link in the description. I'm going to take you word for word through the script so you understand why you're saying all of this stuff. What's the logic? What's the point of all of this? So you're going to start the conversation with obviously a greeting. Hi, this is Jackie. I'm a local real estate agent. If you have a listing in the area that you're selecting, it's possible. If you are not starting from scratch, you already have a listing, and I want to actually work and dominate this geographic area, you're going to use your just listed. If you don't have a listing in the area, you could pick somebody else's listing. You could say, a home was just listed for sale over on 123 Main Street. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home. Do you happen to be familiar with that property? Or by any chance, did you happen to see the for sale sign? Are you familiar with that home? Now, you could also call, so this is, another way of calling this script is a just listed script, because you're giving information on a property that was just listed. You could also give information on a property that just sold. So a home just sold in your area over at 123 Main Street. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. Are you familiar with that property? Did you happen to see the for sale sign when it was for sale? So you're giving just listed or just sold information because, I mentioned this earlier, most people, even if they're not interested in selling now or in the future, they want to know what properties are selling for in the area, what properties are being listed for in the area, because they own a home there and it's a big investment and people are interested in that information. So this is something that's gonna catch their attention. Also, by giving just listed, just sold information, you're showing them that you know what's going on in the area. You, as a local expert, you're familiar with all of this, and it'll be even better. I told you that you should be previewing all the new listings that come on the market. If you're gonna do a just listed, go preview it first. So if they ask you more detailed information about the property, you're able to share that information with them. So then you're gonna give him information, you're gonna ask, are you familiar with the home? Did you see the sign? Whatever they say. And then you're gonna share information, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, the asking price or the sale price, and it's sold for $450,000. And then you're gonna ask them, depending on whether it's a just listed or just sold, you'll find it on the script. Do you happen to know anyone who might be looking to buy a home in the area? If it's a just listed, do you know anyone that wants to buy? If it's a just sold, do you happen to know anyone that may be looking to sell their home as well in the area? That's the first question. And then, do you have any plans to move anytime in the near future? Then the next question, do you have any questions about home prices in the neighborhood or what's going on with the real estate market in general? Look, again, you're preparing the monthly market report, so you know everything that's going on in the area. And the truth is, I told you to monthly go out and door knock and hand deliver that report to them. But you're not going to be able to speak with everyone at the door all the time. Some people you'll be able to speak over the phone and in person. Some people only over the phone. Some people every 3 months when you go door knocking. You're going to be doing this on a regular basis, but you always want to be offering information about what's going on in the area and with the real estate market in general, because people want to know. And as the expert, that's the information that you can share. The next question on the script is, do you have any questions about the value of your home specifically? And if they say, well, yeah, how much do you think my property is worth? Now, again, you know what's going on in the area. You know all the active listings, all the recent sales, the pending sales, what's expiring, you know everything. So you will be prepared to you're not going to have a discussion of price over the phone, but you can give him a general idea, because to give him a more specific idea about the value of their home, obviously you need to go in and visit with them. You need to look at the home. That would be the best way. Can you figure out what a home is worth without looking at it in person? Yes, you can. Absolutely. But obviously, if you can go inside the property to see the condition of everything inside the home, you're going to have a more accurate price. So in the script, if they say they're interested in knowing more about the value of their home, you say, we can do one of three things. I can give you a general price range over the phone, or I could also take a few minutes and do a quick market analysis for your specific home based on the number of bedrooms, baths, square footage, and location. And I can call you back with a more specific number. Or we could set up a time to meet for 20 minutes. I'll create a detailed market analysis. We'll take a look at your home together and determine what's the highest price that we can sell it for in today's market. Which one would you prefer? Now, the purpose of asking this question this way, giving them the three choices, is also to help determine their motivation. Some people may just be curious about what their house is worth without any intention of selling in the near future. If someone says to you, well, I think it would be nice to schedule a meeting if you could do a more detailed report to me, it doesn't mean they're desperate to sell, but it shows more of an interest in probably or possibly selling in the near future than someone who just wants a general idea over the phone. Now, if they're not interested at all, they know enough about the prices in the area, they really have no thoughts of selling anytime in the near future, you're gonna ask them, do you happen to know anyone that might be looking to buy or sell anywhere in our general area? You always want to ask that question. And then remember, you want to add them to your database. So you want to let them know that you offer a monthly market report newsletter for your clients and all of the neighbors, and you would like to get their email address so you could set them up to receive that valuable information. So that is the goal of this script. Remember that the ultimate goal is building relationships with the people in this area. This is just not I'm calling them one time and I'm never going to speak with them again. That's not what you're doing here. And I actually, this is interesting. I want to share with you. When I first started selling real estate, those first 2 years that I made massive amounts of this type of call. I didn't do anything else. I didn't door knock. I didn't email. I didn't do anything. All I did was call. And I know this to be true till this day because a lot of my clients make these calls to complement their FSBOs and expired. So it's exactly the same. People are generally very nice and very talkative, and they ask questions and they want to tell you about their home. Sure, you can run into some people that are in a hurry and they don't want to talk, but generally speaking, these are very warm calls. People tend to be very friendly, and remember too that they're gonna match your energy on these calls. So if you're interested, if you are friendly, which of course you will be, they're gonna respond the same way. So these are amazing calls, and like I said, a lot easier than the typical FSBO and expired, and you're gonna get really good results from it as well. So now let's talk about how do you follow up. Clearly, the goal is to find somebody who wants to sell right now, and you will. As a matter of fact, my very first listing, and I think it was actually my first 2 listings. I think the third one was a FSBO because I was calling some FSBOs in the area, which you're going to do that as well. I mentioned that in the beginning. I mean, you immediately want to go out and door knock and call the FSBOs and expireds, recent expireds in that area, okay? And you want to keep track of the expireds on a daily basis, and you'll be the first one to call them and door knock. But my first 2 listings in my real estate career, they came from calling my neighborhood. And they were not people that I followed up for months. I mean, I make a call today and they say, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're calling asking me this. I do want to sell. I'm like, I was even shocked because I was talking to hundreds of people. I don't remember how long it took me to find them, but I remember being able to set an appointment for the next day and going out and taking the first 2 listings I took were just like that. So this is going to happen for you as well. Consistency. You got to commit to this and do it every day. So how do you follow up when you get a long-term lead? It's not immediate. They want to sell 6 months from now or a year from now. First thing you're going to do immediately. So if you get a lead today, you're going to send out a letter in the mail. Obviously, you're door knocking on a regular basis, so you're going to keep track of that lead. You want to make sure you visit them face to face, but you're also going to send them something in the mail. It's a 1-page letter, short and sweet. It was a pleasure speaking with you yesterday. I look forward to meeting with you in the future to discuss how my active marketing and real estate experience can help you sell your home quickly and for top market price. I want to make sure you have my information. You put together something that makes sense. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to contact me, and I look forward to speaking with you soon. Put all your information there. Put that in the mail with a physical business card. You could send them an email too, but I would put a letter in the mail. Most people these days get so much junk emails. I talked about that earlier. Your emails are never going to be considered junk, but you want to be very careful with this, okay? And since this is your maybe first contact getting a lead, if you are going to send an email, great, but also put something in the mail because they'll be sure to receive it, they'll open it, they'll keep your business card, so they'll remember definitely who you are. Because here's what's important about this too. They may say to you they want to sell a year from now. I got plenty of those my first 2 years. But people's circumstances can change. And you have no idea what's going on. They tell you today it's a year from now, and then all of a sudden they're selling next month or 3 months from now. And you want to make sure if something changes in their situation, they know how to find you. They have your information. And so that's one of the reasons for doing that, and also making sure they know they can contact you at any time. If they have any questions, if they need any help, you're always there. In addition to sending out this lead letter, when you get a long-term lead from this geographic area, you want to speak with them once a month. They're selling a year from now, but you can't wait to call them 11 months from now. They won't remember who you are. So not only you're calling regularly, you're door knocking regularly, but now you have a lead. I mean, they already told you they want to sell. Because when you're calling the neighborhood or even door knocking the neighborhood, like I said a few minutes ago, some people won't be home. Some people won't answer the phone. When you have a lead, you have to follow up obsessively. You got to make sure you speak with them on a regular basis. It's not like if they don't answer the phone, I'll call you again in, a month or two. No, it's not like that. Or you door knock and they're not home and, you're going to try again next time you're in the area. No, when you have a lead, you need to be way more intentional and purposeful to make sure that you get a hold of them, because otherwise they're going to end up listing with somebody else. And what information are you going to give them when you speak with all these people every month? A just listed or a just sold. You are the neighborhood specialist. You're always talking about what is happening in the neighborhood with real estate sales. You can give them other types of information, which you will on the newsletter. Remember the email newsletter? But over the phone, you're always talking about listings and sales. Listings and sales. And there'll be enough of it there. So create a system. If you're using Espresso Agent Vulcan 7, you create monthly folders, and Every month your leads are going in there and you're talking to them monthly. If you're using a paper system, I mean, when I was selling real estate, I used an accordion folder. Those that you could still buy them at Office Depot or Staples. Like I had a 1 through 31. I had a monthly too, but it was easier for me to keep track by month. Today, let's say today's the 10th of the month. If I get a lead today on the 10th, I would send the lead letter and then put him on the 9th, because next time I go to the 9th on the 1 through 31, it would be the 9th of the following month. So for me, it was easier to keep it all in one particular folder. But again, if you're doing this with technology, it's the same. You're just going to create a folder, whether it's 1 through 31 or monthly, and make sure that you don't allow your leads to fall through the cracks. Again, make sure you door knock these leads immediately. Go make face-to-face contact with everyone, but even more determined effort to go ahead and meet these future leads face-to-face. Now I have some final thoughts for you, and I wrote down a few things. Once you begin working a geographic area, make the focus of all your real estate activities in that area by providing, number one, marketing your listings aggressively in the area. When you take a listing, you want to talk to everyone about it. This area is going to be the focus of everything you do. Remember, you got no FSBOs and expireds. So marketing your listings aggressively is personally speak with everyone about this listing, asking them who do they know that wants to buy in the area. I want you to think about how that alone causes you to build an incredible reputation for hardworking, professional, and trustworthy, because this is what people are looking for in an agent. So you're going to market your listings aggressively. You're going to hold open houses for your listings on a monthly basis. You could even host like a seminar to talk about selling a home. What are all the steps? What do you want? What do people need to know? Even buying a home, even though you're referring buyers to a buyer specialist, you could talk about that too. So you could host an informational seminar for the local residents. You can obviously work to find buyers for the homes that are listed, even though they may not be your listings right now, and you work with a buyer specialist. You're gonna find buyers just by prospecting and asking people. So that is gonna help you build a reputation as well. I really have no wiggle room with this conversation of referring buyers to a buyer specialist. I believe you must do that. You want to build a reputation as a listing specialist, not a jack of all trades. I work with listings, I work with buyers. No, I am a listing specialist, and when I have a buyer, it may be someone that is actually a buyer's agent working in your team, or it could be just someone you trust that works for another company, but they're a buyer specialist and you're the listing specialist. But that doesn't mean that you're not looking for buyers for properties in the area too. You are doing that as well. Get to know the renters in the neighborhood. Absolutely, because they will eventually want to buy something and you'll get a referral fee. Get to know the landlords, the actual homeowners of these properties that are rented, because who knows, they may eventually decide to sell their homes too. You'll get to know everyone. And some of these are what I told you in the beginning of the video, non-occupied properties or absentee owners. They may live in the area or even out of state, or even out of the country, who knows, depending on where you live. And the last final thought that I want to give you on this is, I wanted to give you a lot of information, and this may seem like a lot of work, and there are a lot of moving pieces and things you want to do, but I like to keep things simple. In the end, what you're doing here is, I guess, in my opinion, a lot easier than FSBOs and expireds, because being a neighborhood specialist can be a lot of fun. You're going to speak with people, you're going to get to know people. This brings to my mind too, I remember probably like about 6 months to a year after I started calling that neighborhood that I told you I lived in, and calling people, and I had already spoken with them a few times, and I really can't remember them. I'm just going down my list here, and I know I spoke with them before, but me calling and they answered the phone, I said, "Oh, hi, this is Jackie, the local real estate agent." And they would respond to me saying, "Oh, hi, Jackie, how are you?" Meaning they would, I don't remember who they were, but they remembered me. And so this is actually a lot of fun. And the bottom line is, the more fun you have, the more business you will have. Because when you provide powerful, effective information, you're having fun building relationships and helping people. When you help them, you're gonna get what you want in return. This reminds me of a great Zig Ziglar quote that says, when you help enough people get what they want, you'll get what you want. You, as a real estate expert, you're providing great information, which is of value to them, of interest to them. And when you are able to do this and have fun in the process, obviously, you're going to attract a lot more business to yourself. And I know you can actually dominate this area. And the business is going to start coming soon. But again, remember, within 24 months, 25% market share, which is a tremendous amount of business. Thanks for watching this video. Again, make sure you download that free script book. Put your comments and questions below, and I will see you on the next video.